The African savanna is a place where many fall to powerful predators and environmental challenges. While the dangers are abundant, the continent has an Undertaker ready to go to work. The Marabou Stork is a sinister-looking bird that wears a black cloak of wings. Where disaster strikes, it is soon to follow. But in nature, a bust can be a boon if you know how to make the most of life, death, and taxonomy. Welcome back to Life, Death, and Taxonomy. It's your 30 minutes of interesting animal information. I'm Joe.
And I'm Carlos.
Thank you to Cassie for the creation of our theme song. To hear more of Cassie's music, please search Cassie Michelle on YouTube or Spotify.
And thank you to Johanna for the creation of this week's artwork. To check that out, you can follow us on Facebook or Twitter at LD Taxonomy in both places, or visit us at our home on the web at ldtaxonomy.com. And a very special thank you to our patrons, to Tristan Taylor, Jesse Raspulich, Carol Raspulich, and Richard Kaspar. Thank you so much for your support. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks for helping us keep the lights on.
And today we're talking about a dastardly death hunter, but more on that later.
Dastardly is definitely the word I would use. Also, ugly.
Some people say this is the ugliest animal.
I mean, like,
or perhaps the
there's
ugliest
that
bird.
There's that dog in the memes with the teeth.
Well, that's a particular dog.
Yeah, it's a particular dog. Sphinx cats also are pretty bad.
Oh, Johanna loves hairless cats.
Really?
Yeah, she for some reason
emus?
She likes the idea of a rotisserie chicken running around. And she wants, when she pets something, for it to sound like this.
She just wants this cold, clammy, just uncooked chicken skin. I've actually never touched a sphinx or like a hairless cat before. I don't pet cats because I'm allergic to them, and that would probably be one I would have no problem with. But I just don't want that on my
conscience.
I don't want that feel in my memory bank.
The touch, the feel of Sphinx cat, fabric of our lives.
Well, we're talking about the Marabou Stork. Okay, yes, we're talking about the Marabou Stork. I read it, and then I started doing my research. I typed in Malibu Stork. I was like, what? So then that's why the first nickname is Marabou Beach Party.
Nice.
It's also I'm also going to call it the Swaddled Waddle and Bony Stork,
or the Marabou sugar-free honey stork.
I forgot that. Honey stork.
That actually,
it's gummy.
We'll find out about stuff. Oh yeah, gummy. But honey is something to do with this.
Marabou sugar-free gummy stork. It will clean you out.
Yeah.
Let's taxonomize this dastardly boy. It's in the kingdom you know, love, and are in. The kingdom is Animalia. The phylum is Chordata, because it has a spine. The class is Aves. It's a bird. I knew you knew that. Probably don't know this one, though. The order is Siconiformes. The family is Siconidae. And the genus is Leptotylos. There's a P before that last T, but I'm assuming it's like pterodactyl. So Leptotylos.
That sounds like a spell in not Harry Potter, but like when Merlin is fighting that witch.
Oh, like Prestidigitorium Leptotylos.
Yes.
He turns himself into a stork. And then he plays a kazoo and sings "Happy Birthday" for Dumbo. The species is crumenifer. So Leptotylos crumenifer. Which sounds like just like a rude thing, like something a bully to a girl named Jennifer would write on her locker. Like, you're crummy and you're Jennifer, so crumenifer.
That sounds like a Bob's Burgers bully.
Yeah, or we just finished watching Paranorman. We watch it every year, and that's kind of like an Alvin bully thing. Because he's a dumb bully.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, so Leptotylos crumenifer, which brings us, since we're in the business of naming things, it's time for my favorite part of the show, critter groups. The part of the show where I ask you, Joe, a question, and that question is the same every time. What is the name of a group of this animal, or what is the term of venery, or what is the collective noun? If you saw a group of storks in particular, we've never done a stork before. We did I think a heron. Mm-hmm. But we have never done a stork. So, if you saw a group of storks, and by the way, the ornithologists have come through on this one, unlike the last bird we did. There is the collective noun for this one. So, a group of storks. Is it called A, a hanger of storks, B, a gash of storks, C, a muster of storks, or D, a guild of storks?
If I was making one up, I would say a parcel of storks.
Well, you're not the one making them up. I made up 3 of these.
So I'm going to go with hanger. Final answer.
Incorrect. The answer is muster. It's a muster
up some storks?
Of storks. Yes. Like you muster the storks.
Rises.
Just like you muster the Rohirrim. What a stork.
Big stork.
Would you like... So, yes, a muster of storks. Would you like to hear what this thing looks like?
I mean, I've seen a picture of it, so not really, but yes.
It's more pleasant to hear about it than to see it.
Likely.
And that's saying something because I'm going to get descriptive.
Okay.
So, as with most carrion birds, this thing is ugly as sin. Though I don't know if I've ever said this story, but Julia would say otherwise, because since she says since all of God's creatures are beautiful, which is true in its own way.
I'm sure a Marabou stork thinks the other Marabou storks are quite attractive.
That's yeah. I don't know if I must have told this story, but I'll reiterate it in case we haven't mentioned it, but. When Bibby and I went to the zoo with Julia and Calvin, Bibby pointed out an emu and said, like, wow, look how ugly that bird is. And Julia said, no, they're beautiful. All God's creatures are beautiful. Rebuked thoroughly.
She stood up for her beliefs against an adult she admired. That's quite something.
She stood up for her emus.
Yeah.
And that's what matters.
That's a deep conviction.
Yeah, what matters is the emus we made along the way. So the Marabou stork is a massive bird with black wings, a white chest, and very long white legs. So it's got kind of the overall heron / egret.
Egret?
Yeah. Live your life free from egrets. No egrets. That's if I was an ornithologist, but I like finches or something like that, I would definitely have a bumper sticker that said no egrets.
Yeah. No, that's probably something that fish Twitter would do. No.
Oh yeah. I forgot that it's there's less contention within the ornithology community and more contention between the ichthyologists and the ornithologists. Yeah. But the head of the Marabou stork is where the party's at, the Marabou Beach party. It has a long yellowish or pinkish neck with a head that looks like it's been in several ovens. Its neck and head are mostly featherless, so its bubbly, blotchy, black and red skin is out there for the world to see. Its beak is a long, sharp, cream-colored spear covered with patches, scratches, and hatches all over it. And there's also a meaty, bright red tumor nestled in the back of its neck. Just cozy up in there. But its most prominent feature is a large, bulbous, pink wattle that hangs down in front of its neck like a long, saggy sadness balloon. And that's it. I don't want to look at it anymore. It makes me uncomfortable. It's the Freddy Krueger of storks, or birds in general.
If a clown was making a balloon animal and they said, "What do you want?" and you said, "I don't know. I don't really care."
They made the clown makes a bird out of the balloons and then sets the balloon on fire and then says, "Here's your Marabou Stork."
No, I'm saying if you just said to him, "Give me something that'll make me sad," he'd make this like bird goiter thing that they've got going on.
He just makes a bird and then rubs just dirt and dog poop on it and says here's the stork, enjoy it.
This crop of crud.
This seems like the kind of stork that would deliver bags of snakes instead of swaddled babies.
Yeah. When its son asks him for a fish,
he delivers us. And he's a stork.
Yeah.
He eats fish. Of course the son would ask him for a fish.
Probably eats snakes too, though.
Yeah, they probably would eat a snake. But yeah, so just picture this like the Darth Maul of birds here. Just evil. It's like pure evil, I'd say. Fallen from grace.
Well, that's interesting. Well, it's also called the Undertaker bird, so that makes sense.
The Lord of Fire and Death, yeah. But yeah, like I said, this is a massive bird. It's very tall, has really wide wingspan. But how big is it, Joe?
That's a great question. Welcome to the Beloved Measure Up segment, the official listener's favorite part of the show. The part of the show when we present the animal size and dimensions into relatable terms through a quiz that's fun for the whole family. It's also part of the show that's introduced by you when you send in audio of yourself saying, singing, or chittering the words measure up into ldtaxonomy@gmail.com. We don't have a new measure up intro this week.
The age is over.
The age
the
of
time of the
Melissa.
orc. The age of Melissa is over. The time of the orc has come.
The age of our biggest fan, Ann Melissa, sending in the measure ups.
Our loudest fan, I'd have to say. And our loudest fan that happens to oscillate.
While I pull up something from our greatest hits, we got our very first sponsorship request.
What?
And I'm not going to tell you who it's from because I don't think we're going to actually do it. Because it is for I'm not going to say the name of the company, but it's like a snake oil brain medicine type thing.
Is it goop?
No.
Did Gwyneth Paltrow email you?
Yeah, have you heard of nootropics or nootropics? I'm not sure which.
I have heard nootropics.
It's one of those.
We've written about nootropics in for our addiction medicine
it's
blog.
I don't think that they, most of these things can back up their claims and stuff. We've also been invited to multiple social podcasting platforms.
We've done that in the past.
No, this not like this.
Not like this.
Not like this. Without further ado, the listener's favorite part of the show.
Measure up.
This is remember Alora?
Yeah.
Yeah, she this was a video she sent, and it was she just took a video of a bird book she has and said measure up over it. I like it.
That's the jazzy one. I remember it.
Jazz it up with Zatarans or with Allura.
What?
You don't know
What is
Jazz
any
it
of
up with
this stuff?
Zatarans?
Those jewelry brands?
No, it's rice, I'm pretty sure.
I only eat Uncle Ben's.
Uncle Ben's is good. But thank you so much once again, Allura. She sent a bunch, so maybe I'll go through that unless somebody would like to send us a new one. And it was a nice little picture of a falcon that she sent in the video. That was good. It's good.
Falcons are cool.
Yeah. Birds of prey. Pious little birds. Okay. Let's talk height. Yeah. 152 centimeters. Or 499 feet.
What?
4.99 feet.
This bird.
Its dimensions are bigger in America.
It's a kaiju. It's a transdimensional, like, Doctor Who-esque kaiju.
Well, it's small in the UK.
In Europe, it's 5 feet tall, and in the US, it's destroying cities.
This is what happens when you don't use the metric system. How many storks go into the distance between Kampala, Uganda, and Queen Elizabeth National Park by road?
Wow, there's probably 1,000 Queen Elizabeth National Parks.
This is the one near Kampala, Uganda, where you might find this bird. Here's a hint. Queen Elizabeth National Park spans 4 Ugandan districts. It's home to Africa's greatest hits, like hyenas, chimpanzees, lions, hippos, water bucks, and buffalo.
I have the whole album, the whole greatest hits album.
Yeah.
Wow, I have no idea about any of this stuff. Can't even guess because I don't know where Kampala is, and I don't know where this national park is. Uganda is not a massive country, so there's a limit.
It is the capital of Uganda. I'm pretty sure.
Well, back in the days where I had a geography app that I would quiz me on countries and their capitals. I probably could have identified that, but
if you flew into Uganda, you would probably fly into Kampala, and then how far would you have to drive to get to the national park?
I'm gonna say 200 miles. 211,000 storks worth of distance between Kampala and 211,000.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Final answer?
Yep.
Let me be the first to remind you that
I don't have.
That since nobody sent in a Measure Up intro, that is a new Measure Up intro, you did not get your 5% bonus towards your nursing school victory, which is 80%.
I lost my Baldican's blessing from
Fia,
the deathbed companion in Elden Ring.
Even though it was a crappy that a Measure Up intro is a better blessing than Baldican's. The correct answer is 264,529 storks.
Oh,
pretty close. Is it a nursing school victory?
It is. Wait, what is the exact number?
264,529.
It is a 79.7.
So you heard it here, folks. If you had sent in a Measure Up intro, Carlos would have had a victory on this one.
Can we round up? Like 0.7. Come on, that's not even like on the other side of 5. That's like well on its way.
You'd have to find out if in nursing school they would round up. Maybe they would.
All right, I'll ask Bibby since she's been through nursing school.
Let's talk weight. Hopefully this one will be a more clear-cut victory. They're 9 kilograms or 20 pounds. 20-pound bird. That's quite a big bird.
Mm-hmm.
How many storks?
Not as big as Big Bird, though.
How many storks go into the largest elephant ever on record?
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Here's a hint. The largest elephant on record was an adult male Savannah elephant, and it was found in Angola. This is dubious food, even though I found this on multiple websites. None of them linked to a source that had the story or like how they found it. Like all I found was like relatively reputable sites like the San Diego Zoo talking about it.
It's all an echo chamber.
Source. Yeah.
I'm going to say 900 storks.
Final answer?
Going to this elephant. Yes. Final
The
answer.
correct answer is 1,200 storks.
That is that. There's no way that's a nursing school victory.
The largest elephant ever
No.
recorded was 24,000 pounds.
Yeah, I put 18,000 pounds.
That's 11,000 kilograms.
That is twice as heavy as the average African bush elephant.
I think they said it was like a meter taller than other elephants around it.
That's like it's Ella Hulk.
That is a huge elephant, a huge animal, to be sure. I found another article about this giant elephant that had tusks that went almost all the way to the floor. Like it had huge tusks. And it was also a huge elephant. And guess what happened
Mammoth.
to him?
He died of old age, living happily, sipping on peanut butter iced tea.
No, he was poached for his ivory.
Oh,
and he was poached, I think, with a poisoned arrow.
The worst way to go.
What cowards couldn't even take him out? Mono elephant.
Oh wow. Okay, group of poachers, and they play rock paper scissors shoot to say which one of them is going to take the Bowie knife and take out the 20,000 pound elephant with the tusks that go all the way to the ground.
It, yeah. Want to poach an elephant? Take it out with a Bowie knife. Be a man.
Like I wouldn't even want to take a buckshot to that thing.
Yeah.
It's like wow, I don't even think I'd make it through its skull. It'd just turn around and trample me to death. And it should. I'm a poacher.
I deserve it.
I hate what I've become. I'm rooting for the other guy.
And the other guy's 24,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's that. 2 near victories. Maybe, would you have won both of them if you had a measure up?
Yes. Because I got 75% on that last one.
That's a tough loss.
Yeah, it hurts.
That's just a yard short of the goal line.
I don't think I'm going to get that much sleep tonight now.
You're going to get some, just not that much. Which is true most of the time. People say I didn't get any sleep last night.
Yeah, like I didn't sleep at all. It's like you slept some, probably. Unless you were like actively doing something all night, like watching something or playing a game or working.
Backflips.
Studying.
So that's all I got for that.
All right. It also has a 12-foot wingspan, which is yeah. I imagine the elephant has a much bigger wingspan. No, the Marabou Stork has a 12-foot wingspan. It's a big bird.
Yeah.
So Marabou Storks live in most of sub-Saharan Africa, with the exception of the more arid desert regions like the Kalahari. And it also doesn't live in South Africa. But the majority of sub-Saharan Africa is home to the Marabou Storks. Doesn't live in Malibu. They live for about 25 years in the wild, which is, I mean, for a bird, it's not super long, especially an African bird. But they don't have many natural enemies, except for lions that occasionally prey on them. And that's due to it's big, it's aggressive, it's horrifying to look at. So I imagine that all the animals that would prey on it is like, never mind, I'm good. You look like a demon a little bit, Mr. Bird. I'm gonna go eat something that looks more pleasant and is less likely to stab me with its face. It uses its neck sac to make a variety of courtship noises. The courtship neck sac, and that complements a bit, like they will kind of vibrate their bills, do a bill rattling. Their beaks, they'll clack together really fast, and this is all part of their courtship display. Their mating season takes place in Africa's dry season, because a lot of the lakes and rivers dry up, and so there's abundant food available that is easier to get. And during the season, the stork lays 2 to 3 eggs in a nest it keeps up in the trees. And the hatchlings will hatch in a month and become sexually mature in 4 years. And I will leave the rest to you and the major fact.
All right. I'm calling this one Enter the Undertaker.
Gravedigger?
Yeah, I've been exchanging WWE clips with our mutual friend, Adolfo. And it's just, I never watched anything like that when I was a kid. No
Same.
Wrestling at all. I completely missed out on that cultural moment for children or for like teens. And they're so funny. Like, it's crazy what they did, stuff they did back then. And yeah, it's getting a second life on TikTok for me.
My friends when I was a kid had the action figures of like Stone Cold Steve Austin and Hulk Hogan and The Rock and stuff like that. Rey Mysterio. And even then I like, it wasn't like the Ninja Turtles, something I didn't watch but really wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
It was like something I didn't watch and I was like, I don't get it. This doesn't appeal to me.
It didn't appeal to me either. And I think I would probably enjoy it more, like seeing funny clips of it. I don't think I would ever watch like a full thing of anything. Maybe like one of those actually real documentaries about it. But I don't think I would have enjoyed the ridiculousness of it when I was a child like I can now.
Well, anything involving that, anything that is attached to Macho Man Randy Savage would be delightful to watch at this point, like ironically, and make fun of. So that's why the only wrestling match I've ever seen is between Bonesaw and Peter Parker.
The Marabou Stork is called the Undertaker for many reasons, and for many animals of the savannah, its presence is an ill omen. Marabou storks are more like vultures in their eating habits. They prefer carrion, and they're able to consume rotting flesh just like a vulture. And like their rough-looking appearance is due to partly their featherless head, which you described, and like it does look like it has burn marks on it because it's just got like, it's pink and black. Not good. It's not good. But like, just like the vulture, their heads are featherless because when they eat rotting meat, it won't get stuck in their feathers and cause infections. But I was thinking about that, and like, wouldn't any bird of prey eat meat and like have blood and guts get in their feathers and rot?
Not necessarily. I think with the vulture, and I think we mentioned this in our condor episode, California condor, but it's the fact that they stick their entire heads inside the carcasses of large animals, and so like they're just going to be absolutely coated in it every single time they eat, where other birds of prey usually eat small animals that they pin down with their talons and then just kind of like eat it. And yeah, it might get in there, but like it's different than just like sticking your whole head in a rotting deer carcass,
which is already decomposing and has all kinds of bacteria on it.
Yeah. I say take a bath, but whatever. I guess just have a featherless, horrifying, ghoulish head instead.
So unlike many vultures, the Marabou stork isn't above eating live prey like other storks do. And they may eat fish, frogs, insects, eggs, small mammals and reptiles, other birds, and pretty much anything that'll fit down their throat. So these storks share traits with the vulture we've covered in the past. Or was it the condor? I can't remember what
The
it was.
California condor, yeah.
We did the California condor. We also did another.
Did we?
I thought so.
We've done like the harpy eagle or something, but I think the California condor is the only like vulture-esque bird we've done.
But they also share traits with the black kite, which we've done before.
We have done that,
Australian bird of prey. So
the haughty copper.
Yeah. That's episode 69. That's a long time ago, yeah.
That was a long time ago.
The trait that they share with them is that they are attracted to fire. Brush fires flush small prey out of their hiding places and make for easy pickings for our Undertaker friend. The Marabou stork delights in the disaster, but I didn't find any reports that they actually set fires like the black kite, which is pretty crazy. The black kite, if you haven't heard that episode, go listen to it. But there's another sinister fact about this shade of the savannah. If you survive the fire, and then if you survive the Marabou beak, there's another threat on the horizon, and that is bees.
Oprah's bees.
Yeah. Bees and Marabou storks have a relationship in nature that is referred to as commensalism, which is something we specifically talked about not knowing the name for in the past. I think recently we talked about this without knowing that it's called this, and we were thinking this must be called something, and it is. It's called this.
Because wasn't like symbiotic. It wasn't mutualism.
Yes. Yeah, so commensalism is when one animal benefits from another and does no harm or good in return. So they aren't a parasite. They're not a symbiote or symbiotic. They're just benefiting from another creature's hard work without hurting them. So the bees will follow the stork to its meal and then lay eggs in what is left in the carcass. And then the carcass makes for good eating when the bee larvae hatch.
For Samson.
Yeah. So when Samson ripped a lion like a young goat in the Bible.
Just like one rips a young goat, of course, yes.
Yeah. That's in the ESV. I think in other versions it says like broke a lion's jaw as easily as one would a young goat. But I think the ESV is a more like literal translation. So maybe rip a lion or rip a goat was like a term for that, to like break their jaw.
Oh, okay. Huh?
Like it's actually not rip, it's tear. So it is like maybe it is like a tearing motion.
So it's doom. It's rip and tear.
So yeah, I wonder if when Samson killed the lion and then went to came back later and found honey in the lion carcass, I wonder if there was a stork there while he was away.
Yeah, because it's that's the animals of Africa were up in that area, that region in that time. So
lions definitely had a larger range before. I mean, up until not larger than it is today.
And maybe this is a similar kind of bee.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is the same kind of bee that
I couldn't find what kind of bee it was.
that works with the honey badger.
Yeah, these just.
Oh no,
these
sorry, it doesn't work with the honey badger. The honey badger works with a
No.
bird to find
Yes.
the hive. Listen to our honey badger episode. I swear we know what we're talking about back then.
But that's all I got. Fires, storks, and bees. Oh my.
It seems like a heavy opportunist. It's Patches
Yeah.
the stork. It goes to where there's mayhem and it eats its fill.
Yeah.
I have here that they during mating season they'll switch over to live prey so they can feed fresh food to their young. Did you say that already?
Oh, I did not.
Yeah, so they usually eat carrion, but they don't want to feed carrion, a lot of carrion to their young. So they'll switch over to mostly live prey during mating season. But many populations have adapted to eating human garbage. Mm-hmm. You're garbage, human garbage.
I think
that
that
was
was
Bob Barker says.
I had wrote for the major fact. I wrote down mating season, and I couldn't remember what I wanted to talk about. I think it was that during the mating season they know to switch for their young.
They're like, my son's gonna find this
now.
Nasty.
Yeah, it's like when you cook mac and cheese for your kids, even though you're having a pot roast for dinner.
Yeah, we try not to do that anymore. It's kind of biting us in the butt. He has the pot roast with us, and I have the mac and cheese.
I drink your mac and cheese.
I drink your artificial cheese juice. I drink it up. Yeah, so they will when they live in urban areas, they'll eat human garbage, and they'll eat pretty much anything that comes their way. They've even been known to eat shoes and pieces of metal and things that should not be eaten normally. And they've taken to eating food from people, like giving it to them. But the problem is these are not nice birds. These are not pigeons. They will, and they're also, pigeons are small, and these are not. They're 5 foot tall, 12-foot wingspan, ugly death birds. And they will turn violent if you don't give them food, and they expect it from you. So can you just imagine walking down a street in a sub-Saharan African urban area, and then just there's a bird as tall as you there, yeah. And it looks at you and and you just get this shoebill glare, and then it just runs at you or something, or it gets toward you and starts walking faster, and you're just like, this is not how I pictured this day going.
I was keeping
my life ending
for lions, and now I got to worry about this. What is this, Africa?
What is this? The home of a lot of dangerous animals? Why does everyone say Australia is full of dangerous animals? I live in Africa. I live in the continent with the most dangerous animals.
Yeah, I actually saw a TikTok about that, like an Australian being like, why do Americans say we have the most dangerous animals? There's bears in America. Like,
yeah, Australia has no megafauna. It's mostly like spiders and snakes that you have to worry about in Australia.
I feel like
and
all the continents, it's Africa that I would least like to go to in terms of.
But Australia has the black kite, the bird of prey that starts fires to flush out prey. That's pretty dangerous. Possibly the most dangerous animal in the world, if you think of it that way.
Yeah, in the right place at the right time, it could be the most dangerous animal.
One black kite can start a forest fire. Kill black kite. No, I'm just kidding. That's their Smokey the Bear slogan. No, don't kill
Only
black
you
kites.
in Australia. They say they do have to add the addendum. Only you and black kites can prevent forest fires.
I'm looking at you, black kites. I'm looking at you, Henry. Yeah. All right. You got anything else for the Marabou Stork?
Nope, that's all I got.
So for you out there in Podcastia, that was the Marabou Stork. Take care of your skin. Use fire to your advantage, and don't let the other storks tease you about your blotchy neck bulb like the Marabou Stork here in Life, Death, and Taxonomy.
Hey Taxonomy Titans, I just want to remind you that we now have a Patreon. Patrons can see full video episodes and get shoutouts on the show. But ultimately, it's a way for you to help us cover some costs and get even better. Still, reviews are the best way to help us grow. So if you haven't left one yet, we'd really love to hear from you. As always, thanks for listening and engaging.
Life, Death, and Taxonomy is my favorite in the world podcast.
Use fire to your advantage. Yeah. We've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah, ever since Prometheus did that, like, solid. He did us a solid.
That avant-garde move Prometheus came in clutch with.